Welcome to SVG-TV News for Tuesday, August 23rd, 2016. I'm Lafern Fraser with the details. A pronouncement today by leader of the New Democratic Party, the NDP, and opposition leader Anim Eustace that his party has adopted the One China policy and once in office will sever ties with the Republic of China on Taiwan for Beijing caught many Vincentians off guard. It was a highly anticipated media conference as many persons were speculating since the invitation was sent out what was the NDP leader going to announce. At the NDP headquarters today, Eustace stated that there is an evolving symmetry of international affairs which show instability in several volatile areas of the world, and a move towards fraternizing with China was the better decision. Eustace added that there is also a concern about the mismanagement of the Vincentian economy, and the NDP is diligently pursuing the best strategic interests of the country, particularly as it relates to foreign policy and investment.
As a modern political organization, we continue to discuss and formulate a range of measures and responses to ongoing geopolitical realities. Recognizing these changes in our election manifesto last year, we had promised to make adjustments to our diplomatic missions overseas to include a strong component for trade and investment promotion as distinct from the normal consular activities. I will repeat, we took that decision, it's printed in our manifesto, that embassies and missions abroad, whether in the US or elsewhere, will not simply be looking after passports and these kind of things. They have a role to play in encouraging trade and investment to come to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So we had agreed that we'd change the nature of our missions abroad.
When questioned by the media on the position taken, which no doubt came as a surprise to many, the opposition leader made it known that he did not make Taiwan aware of his change in diplomatic ties and reiterated that the One China policy will be key to international relations for the NDP as they are hopeful to take office soon.
I hereby formally announce that the New Democratic Party of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, as of today's date, August 23rd, 2016, has taken the decision to recognize the United Nations accepted norm of a One China policy. I repeat, I hereby formally announce that the New Democratic Party of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, as of today's date, August 23rd, 2016, has taken the decision to recognize the United Nations accepted norm of a One China policy. Our party, under my leadership, has evolved the worldview that is embraced by almost every country in this region, and indeed the world. One China policy will be a key international relations platform of our party, and we will move to change from the province to Beijing when we form the next government, which we expect will be shortly.
Minister of Foreign Affairs Sir Louis Straker says that he was dumbfounded and shocked by the declaration made by the NDP leader. Sir Louis told SVG-TV News that St. Vincent and the Grenadines is celebrating 35 years this month of unbroken diplomatic ties with the Republic of China on Taiwan, and for the NDP to break away from this is an act of ingratitude.
Any provocation without any warning to sever relationship with Taiwan is beyond reason or beyond comprehension. It would be an act of great ingratitude to Taiwan for all that Taiwan has done, and it may be that they are angry that Taiwan has helped St. Vincent with the international airport. So they figure Taiwan should not help St. Vincent, and anything that is good for St. Vincent is bad for the NDP because it makes the ULP look good. But Taiwan has always stayed out of politics in St. Vincent and have always dealt with the government in power, which is the normal thing to do. So I am really, I don't know what to say, because this thing has caught me by surprise, as it would all Vincentians. And if the NDP thinks that by recognizing communist China, that they are going to prosper more with that country, they are in for a rude awakening. They should realize that St. Lucia tried it, and St. Lucia came right back to supporting Taiwan.
Sir Louis says the ruling Unity Labour Party administration, of which he is a part, is steadfast in supporting the government and people of Taiwan. He says this breakaway by the NDP will backlash.
They said that they would be recognizing mainland China when they come to power shortly. That would never happen, because the people of this country would never vote for a party that turn its back on Taiwan after all that Taiwan has done for this country. People here are Christian people. They believe in gratitude, and this act of great ingratitude would be rewarded by putting them right back in opposition, and maybe because of this they might lose every seat in this country. But I want it to be known that I and my government, the Unity Labour Party government, would remain steadfast, firm in our commitment to supporting Taiwan, and we are sure that Taiwan would continue its strong support of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The Prime Minister leaves for Taiwan in October. He's going there, and I'm sure when he comes back he would have additional help from Taiwan for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So I would say, long live the strong relationship between us and Taiwan, as demonstrated by the flag back of me here, the flag of Taiwan and the flag of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. This friendship would continue and would grow stronger and stronger with the Unity Labour Party.
And Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves has refused to respond to the pronouncement made by the leader of the NDP, Anim Eustace, that his political party has severed ties with the Republic of China on Taiwan for the One China policy. The Prime Minister told SVG-TV News that he only cares to highlight the magnificent relationship that both the Republic of China on Taiwan and SVG have enjoyed for 35 years. He noted that at an event hosted recently by the ROC, the NDP's leader assured everyone that the union between his party and Taiwan was solid, and questioned his integrity.
Up to 3 months ago, at a public function at the Embassy of the Republic of China, Taiwan, the leader of the opposition, Mr. Eustace, reconfirmed his unswerving and unequivocal commitment, and that of the NDP, to the Republic of China, Taiwan. Indeed, he waxed lyrical by saying that this bond is no longer a state-to-state bond, but a people-to-people bond, and I agree with that.
The Prime Minister said that the generosity of the ROC has been tremendous, and that Taiwan understands the issues that small island developing countries face, and his administration will be unwavering in their support.
Then there's a matter of gratitude. I have always been very grateful to people who have been good to me, who have been helpful to me, whether it's the voters who put me in office, whether people in my community who help me with various things, my family, and other countries. When we had to start the airport, we needed commitment of a significant grant. We got a $20 million US, that's $54 million commitment grant, apart from what we borrowed from them. When we needed to bridge the dry river, I went to them. That is life-changing for the people north of the dry river. They helped me with the design, and they paid also for the construction, about $10 million.
And the local embassy of the Republic of China on Taiwan expressed regret at the announcement made by the leader of the opposition, Anim Eustace, that his party would be cutting ties with the nation today. In a statement, the embassy stated that over the past 35 years, both SVG and Taiwan have shared fruitful cooperation in areas such as education, agriculture, health, human resources, and infrastructure. The statement pointed to the example of education, noting that Taiwan has been working closely with SVG with the Back to School project for the past 18 years, benefiting over 400 primary and secondary students every September, as well as providing Vincentians the opportunity to attain higher education by providing scholarships to study in Taiwan. The statement further added that because of these cooperation projects, the relationship between SVG and Taiwan has been seen as more than a political union or a country-to-country relationship, but a people-to-people relationship, and expressed hope that the bilateral relations would be strengthened in the future. Leader of the Democratic Republican Party, the DRP, is coming in for some heavy criticism for her stance to have the cybercrime legislation repealed. General Secretary of the National Workers' Movement, the NWM, Noel Jackson, on a radio program on Sunday, 21st August, questioned why Batiste was strongly against the recently passed legislation. Jackson also lambasted Batiste for questioning legal luminary Queen's Counsel Parnell Campbell on his acceptance of the new legislation.
And I don't know, probably I have a special kind of thing. The first time I heard this young woman, I declared a position on her. And she has lived up to my expectations. She has basically made me feel very good about myself. She's dead in the water. She would say all she can, or all she wants to say. Make and write all her rhetorical statements. She is dead in the water. Her attitude, her approaches, she will get nowhere. And the people who are invested in her is wasting their money. She's dead. Politically, she's dead.
Jackson says Batiste squandered an opportunity to make an impact and help formulate the cybercrime legislation, and compared Batiste to the U.S. Republican candidate Donald Trump, who has no self-control.
And she threw it through the window. She basically misused the opportunity. It's really, really, really terrible. Now, all this young woman had to do, the Prime Minister extended it. You don't have to, because there's nothing that says that you should appoint the leader of a party, especially a second-grade party like the DRP. The girl is finished. In fact, I told you all a long time, she finished before she started. She do not have the temperament. In fact, it looked like another Donald Trump.
Parents and staff at the Enham's Medical Clinic received a much-needed boost of patients and staff. They received a much-needed boost of medical and other supplies valued at an estimated $6,000, which were handed over earlier today. The donation was made on behalf of Darren Grant, the director of the largest sporting and recreational facility in the Sultanate of Oman, who organized the donation, which includes an air conditioner unit, 3 standing fans, and various medical supplies. A donation of $3,000 was also made to the Zero Hunger Trust Fund. Senior Nursing Officer Sister Cecile James thanked Mr. Grant for the donation on behalf of the Ministry of Health.
I stand on behalf of our Permanent Secretary, Mr. Louis Duchamp, who has a prior engagement and was not able to be here this morning, to extend our heartfelt gratitude to Darren and his mom for recognizing the need to give back to a community that would have given much to him. In all his endeavors, we hope that we can further this public-private partnership in order that all of us can benefit, not Ambrose Health Center alone, but the wider community of the Ministry of Health. Thank you once more.
Also speaking at the ceremony was Noreen Harry, a community health nurse at the Ambrose Health Clinic, who thanked Grant for his contribution, which she says would go a long way in delivering quality care for the community of Ambrose.
I would just like to say thank you very much on behalf of the staff of Ambrose Health Center to Darren Grant, wherever he is now, for making this generous donation to us. The fridge, the fans, the AC, and the medical supplies. We are so grateful and so happy. Sister Rennie said his mom, but it's not his mom, his aunt. His aunt. So on behalf of the staff of Ambrose Health Center, we'd just like to say thank you very much for this generous donation. And we appreciate it a lot, and it would go a long, long way in our continued care for Ambrose community and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Thank you.
Also making remarks was the Minister of Parliament for East St. George and Minister of Economic Planning, Camilo Gonçalves, who thanked Grant for his contribution. Gonçalves referred to Grant as an excellent ambassador for SVG, as he was able to secure contributions from persons from various parts of the world.
So you have these people from America, from Croatia, from Brazil, from Iran, who are contributing to Zero Hunger in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, a country they have never visited. They've never seen, and but for Darren, would not know it existed probably. But because of the type of man he is and the advocacy that he's doing and the stories that he's telling to his friends in Oman, he sufficiently moved them that they would reach into their own checkbook and make a contribution to Zero Hunger in a country that they've never visited. He is a walking, talking advertisement and ambassador for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. He's doing wonderful work. He's traveled a great distance, but he has not forgotten his roots, and he's making an important contribution.
Chairman of the Carnival Development Corporation, Dennis Ambrose, denounced claims that Vincy Mas has lost its standard. His comments came on Saturday, August 20th at a Carnival symposium held at the Peace Memorial Hall. Ambrose noted prior to 2001, the standard of Vincy Mas has grown tremendously, noting that shows such as Miss SVG, which has been transformed into a bigger production, moving from being hosted at the Aquatic Club to the Victoria Park. The CDC chairman of 15 years further added that major renovations and development have also taken place with other big carnival shows.
Persons seem to be in denial of the fact and find it easier to trample on the CDC. We prefer, as we have said over the years, to encourage persons with bright ideas to come forward with the constructive, implementable solutions. But in my recollection, the CDC has not been graced with the presence of those persons, neither at these symposiums nor at the office of the CDC. When I became the chairman, the CDC shows, like Ms. SVG, was a shrunken version of itself, being held at the Aquatic Club, compared to having it at the Victoria Park, as we do now. The stage at the Victoria Park was so aged that even during shows, emergency construction reinforcement would be necessary to ensure the safety of performance. We now have an erectable, adaptable stage, which is prefabricated ramps, all to international standards.
Ambrose said the CDC also sought to embrace technology by providing and offering training behind the scenes for several persons so as to further improve the product.
The use of international standard stage lighting and song have been introduced by the CDC. There are many occasions for technological support training and development which occurred from behind the scenes at the CDC, so that we aim each year to minimize production weaknesses. In those early days, shows will have a difficult time starting on time. Over the years, the CDC have implemented procedures and given training to show managers, stage managers, and stage handlers, which now ensures that the shows start on time and improve the progress of the stage events. This also requires the discipline of the various performers and players, as most of us have that cultural belief that because it is local and it is Vincy, there is or was the expectation that starting late was an okay thing.
Head of the Carnival Band Association, Hugh Ragay, is suggesting the way forward for Vincy Mass is to appeal to younger masqueraders. Ragay was among the speakers at Saturday's Carnival Symposium.
If we are to attract our young people to Mass, we cannot tell them that it's for the love of Mass. This is not 1950. This is the 21st century, the year 2016. And whether we like it or not, our youth are influenced by other considerations brought upon by technological advances.
Ragay, he also added that greater financial support is needed to sustain the festival.
The National Lotteries Authority, set up for the development of sports and culture, would have to pay attention to what is happening. And we would have to have a greater inflow of financial resources into the components, so that in the face of other attractions, we can hold as small as it may be, we could retain some of our young people to take the art form forward.
The CBA head also calls for the establishment of a Carnival Hall of Fame.
We need to see implemented in short order the establishment of a Carnival Hall of Fame. Now, this is not reinventing the wheel. This is not a new idea. It has been around. And the Mama Culture, the former Minister of Culture, the Honorable René Batiste, in 2010, wrote the CDC and the components of Carnival, urging that we go forward with the establishment of a Carnival Hall of Fame.